George Santos. Look at this guy, man. This guy, I don't know how much you guys know about. We haven't talked on the show before. Okay, nice graphic.
Wow, this is bullshit.
Why you always lying?
No, I disavow. I disavow this. This is George Santos, a lying dumbass. No, he's king. He's the king. He is the GOAT.
You stan him?
Yeah, I stan him.
I see what you're saying.
Literally lying.
Yeah.
I am completely fascinated by this guy.
He is a compulsive, pathological liar. He cannot stop himself. It's a medical condition. You guys are being ableist.
It is. It is. That's true also. Yeah, so this guy, he won a seat in Congress, and people, and the New York Times started trying to look into his background, like who is this young upstart conservative, and they started fact checking his resume, like his school credentials, his work credentials, and they started to slowly find out that every single fucking thing this guy has ever said about himself is 100% wrong.
Top to bottom.
Just not even wrong, like a flat out lie. Like this guy lied about.
Lying.
This guy said he went to a prestigious Horace Mann school.
He's the type of dude to lie about his birthday for no reason. Like just shit that doesn't even give him like an immediate tangible benefit. He lies about everything and anything he can.
Yeah. I had a friend like this.
I don't think his glasses are real. I think even his fucking glasses
I think you might be right.
A big lie.
I knew a person like this. I had a good friend that really was a pathological liar, and like you said, he would just lie about shit that it's just like nobody cares.
And everybody knows it. Like everybody knows you're a pathological liar too at that point.
Yeah.
And it's just like you still keep doing it. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
He can't stop himself.
So he lied about his high school, which I guess is a prestigious private high school, Horace Mann School. They contacted the school. That was a lie. He obtained a high school equivalency diploma.
So he got a GED?
Yeah. So he didn't even, I mean, whatever, no hate, but he didn't even go to high school apparently.
Yeah.
He claimed about where he went to college. He claimed he graduated with a degree in economics and finance from
Baruch College in 2010.
Yeah. But of course, he also said he was a star on the volleyball team.
That part
which
is the
awesome.
best. He said he was a volleyball star, but he got a knee surgery. And the reason why he said that was because he wanted the Nassau County GOP chair, Joseph Cairo, to like him and want him to play in their intramural volleyball team.
He better be good, though. He's not going to be able to...
But that's fucking insane. That's like what benefit are you getting at that point? Like, why did you lie about such an insane thing?
How tall is he? How tall? Because I think to be like a pro volleyball player, you got to be like really tall, right?
Yeah.
You got to be like super athletic.
Yeah, and then he admitted that he did not graduate from any institution of higher learning. My favorite part of the saga was 9/11. Shocker.
Oh, yeah, so here he goes. He died about his mom dying on 9/11. On the campaign website, Santos wrote that his mother, the first female executed at a major financial
executive, not executive.
This 9/11 saga is like, I mean, it's Larry David. It's literally Larry David. It's a Larry David plotline. Like, he first said his mom died in the fucking towers, and then he followed it up by saying, no, his mom was actually not in the towers, but she was in downtown at the time and died years later from cancer because of the dust, toxic inhalants from 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Then we found out that his mom wasn't even in fucking America at the time. She was actually in Brazil at the time during 9/11.
Awesome.
His mom wasn't even in the country.
That's some crazy stolen valor.
And she wasn't working in finance or anything. She was a housekeeper.
Yeah. So it's wild that he just lied about that.
There's
what benefit do you get from that?
The fact of lying that your mom died at 9/11 is awesome. But like I see kind of like there's a picture of like someone who comes like from not a privileged life at all, who's probably deeply insecure with his heritage, probably because, well, you see how people treat AOC, who actually has come a long way on her own merits, and you see how people treat her, especially conservatives. So, yeah, he's insecure about his beginnings, but the level to which he lies is absolutely nuts.
This guy is a manipulative, lying con man. His
mother actually, she filed a visa to return to the United States. His mother actually is a domestic worker or home care nurse.
Yeah.
And she's still alive, right?
No,
No, she passed away.
and
I think.
yeah, that's actually, if you go into this here, I'll just pull it up. So after all this lying, putting it on his campaign site and stuff, he tweeted this in 2021, December 23rd. This year marks 5 years since I lost my best friend and mentor,
That math
mom.
does not add up.
Right. So 5 years previous to 2021 is not 2001.
This man.
She could be, but he could be lying about her mom dying. His mom died.
Even this could be a lie. I guess at this point, everything's
because
on the
everything
table.
is like every single part of this is a falsehood.
Yep.
That's
So
true.
you have to assume that he's probably lying about his mom even dying. His mom's probably alive right now in Brazil. Speaking of Brazil, there's first of all, let's talk about the Goldman Sachs thing. Yes, his campaign bio stated that he worked at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, but representatives for both companies told the Times they had no record of his employment. Don't know why you didn't talk about how he lied about being Jewish, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like
That's a weird one,
he
too, man.
claimed that he was a Ukrainian Jew.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like,
fucking weird.
That's the bingo. Like he hit literally every fucking, notable marker for like liberals living in Nassau County to be like, well, maybe I'll take a look at this guy. You know what I mean?
Wait, is he gay? Is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's probably straight.
No. He's actually gay. I'm pretty sure
You
he's.
seen the video of him?
No, but I
Crowder?
have seen how he responds to drag queens on Twitter, and that boy is gay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
Fair enough.
He's like duking it out with queens, and like has deep knowledge of RuPaul's Drag Race. That like as gay adjacent as I am, even I don't fucking know. Like he was like talking about like season victories and shit.
Wow.
Yeah, so he pretty much concocted this like perfect, I don't know, victim.
Yeah, he said he is
overcomer.
a Ukrainian Jew that like fled Nazi persecution. That was a lie. And then
That's
when
crazy.
called out on it, he said he's Jewish, which is another like.
That's a Larry David thing.
That's another.
great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
didn't say I'm Jewish. I said I'm Jewish.
he is very.
That's the funniest thing ever. I
Yeah,
can't believe
that
he
does
said
make
that.
me. It's like when Kanye West had that like impeccable timing, the incredible timing on a joke that like that makes me feel like George Santos is literally Larry David, is a Larry David character.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, there's. Ethan just asked if there's a video of it. It's not. It was in a written interview
oh,
that he
shit.
said that.
Yeah.
sucks.
He said he's never claimed to be Jewish. He just said he's Jewish.
I'm Jew.
Every part of
He
that
goes,
is.
I'm Jew. I didn't say I'm Jewish. I'm Jew.
And he also
I'm Jewish.
like he lies about so many verifiable things like
so
like
awesome.
victims of 9/11 there's 3,000 like you can immediately figure that out.
Right.
Like Holocaust, like records of that exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't lie that your family fled persecution when they were in Brazil during the fucking Holocaust. You know what I mean?
Well, they had a hard time in Brazil, and
Yeah,
sure,
which
some-
is another. It's like a Larry David joke. Yeah, my family suffered a lot during the Holocaust
yeah,
in Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
They were still suffering.
I didn't say where they suffered.
The whole world suffered.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We were all suffering
We all
then. It was a
suffered.
difficult time.
Yeah. He helped run an alleged hedge fund Ponzi scheme, which of course you got to do that. He started
that
working
for
at a
him.
Florida investment firm immediately. Florida investment firm, you know that shit is not run right. Okay, you know there's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Called Harbor City Capital. When he was employed there in 2020, Santos said he managed a $1.5 billion fund and bragged record returns of 12 to 26%, depending on the type of investment. Boom. Definitely
he
a
said,
Ponzi.
hold on. He said he had 12 to 26% returns.
Yeah, Ponzi.
That's literally, if you're getting that kind of returns, you're
You're getting made off.
you're getting made off.
That's true.
100%. It's dude. It's a Florida investment firm. Sorry, like you know what you were getting into. Retirees,
Make
don't
America
do that.
Florida, bro. Stop.
The company's promise that a full bank guarantee on investments was bogus. Deutsche Bank claims it is a complete fraud and not signed by the bank officer on the document. In April 2021, the Securities and Exchange Commission accused Harbor City of being a Ponzi scheme that stole $17 million from investors. The company's assets are currently in mediation with an independent receiver appointed to manage them.
This is all going on while he gets elected to Congress.
Yeah.
Like, holy
Financial
fuck.
disclosure. So this is the spicy part. This is what I personally believe will probably get him clapped. Because, like, Republicans are disgusting freaks. They're sick perverts. They will never impeach one of their own when they're a valuable vote. And right now, there's a slim majority in the in the House of Representatives, as we saw with the Never Kever saga, right? So, for that reason, they're never going to like actually impeach him, but he could technically go to jail, or there could come a point where it is impossible for him to continue being a representative. And I believe that that's campaign finance violations.
Yes, so it's worth mentioning that meanwhile, as all this is coming out, this guy ran his whole campaign. He was elected by the people based on a total farce. This guy has no experience. He has no credentials. And meanwhile, Kevin McCarthy
This is all false.
Bakersfield's very own.
supporting him and assigning him to
committee position.
Yeah,
and part of the reason why is because he was like a loyal vote for Kevin in the Never Kever saga. So now there's financial disclosures from 2022 congressional campaign show that he claimed he made between 3.5 million and 11 million from the company before it was dissolved last year, which is a lie. Then also records show that Santos donated over $700,000 to his own campaign in 2022. Now, if it's your actual money that you have in your pocket, you know, American laws, you can't stop that. It would be allowed. However, his income when he ran previously in 2020 was $55,000 a year. Now in 2022, filings, his net worth has spiked to $11 million after his involvement with the alleged Ponzi scheme. And he's claiming that he paid his own. He's claiming that he paid his own campaign to the tune of $700,000 from the company that he was running a Ponzi scheme with, Harbor Capital.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the fuck you lying?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So he's a pathological liar and a straight up criminal.
Yeah. Reporting from Talking Points memo showed that Santos campaign staffers charged a credit card on file for donors without their permission and racked up huge unexplained expenses and payments to anonymous as well as payments to themselves.
Dude.
He also has he has a history of like misusing, you know, GoFundMe and donation funds. He had like a 501c3 that he set up for rescuing animals or saving animals and paying for animal surgery. A veteran had like a service dog.
I have that video. We're gonna watch that.
Yeah,
video.
a veteran had a service dog. He literally raised $3,000 for him. Let's watch the video.
I watched this for the first time when Shredder was in the hospital, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking. This guy needs to go down. This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Stealing money from yourself, Ethan.
Stealing. I know. I'm about to get banned right now. We have no strike, by the way.
Don't do it. Don't
we have no strike. Let's
You're way too comfortable with this no strike business.
Bum 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 bum.
Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Muted you.
Let's bombing up and bombing.
The mic's muted. All right, I'm gonna release you. Be good.
I'm good.
Be good.
But I was gonna say, like, this guy stole like millions of dollars from people. Listen, I don't care about that. What he did to this dog is unforgivable. Y'all are not ready for this.
George Santos, claiming the congressman promised to help his service dog get life-saving surgery in 2016. But after about $3,000 of donations poured in, the Navy veteran says Santos stopped replying to his calls, to his texts. The veteran never saw a dime. His dog passed away months later. And the fundraiser was set up under a charity group that Santos actually mentioned on his campaign website. You see it here in a paragraph that has since been deleted. It claims that he rescued 2,400 dogs and 280 cats. Santos also touted the charity in this interview.
I mean, we had a great organization. We were able to save animals, dogs, cats, horses. I mean, at one point...
This guy is legitimately psycho. Wait, I can't watch this whole 10-minute video, but...
Here.
Or I guess we're almost to the meat of it.
Yeah. 8 baby jumping goats in my car.
There is no record of this group in the IRS database, nor is there one among the registered charities in New York or Florida. And the website GoFundMe, where this fundraiser was posted, said that the organized...
the name is so fake. It reminds me of George Costanza's The Human Fund.
Right.
He's like, saving dogs.
He is George Costanza.
Yeah, he totally is. He totally is.
He's Larry David.
This is 100%.
Down to the fucking... I feel like the sweater vest look is like like that's some shit Larry David would wear. He does wear the
full content.
Oh, of course. He wears the long sleeve tees and he'll put a suit over it. You know what I mean? Suit jacket over the long sleeve tees. I feel like this is a look too.
This is exactly what George wore when he worked for the Yankees.
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
Advisor failed to respond to all their inquiries about where the funds went, never gave any proof of anything, and so they banned Santos's account from the site. This comes in the context of Santos' apparent lies on everything from this charity to where he went to college, where he worked, even his claims that his grandparents fled the Holocaust. And it goes on and on. The House Republican leadership continues to stand by Santos tonight, putting him on 2 committees just this week.
By the way, Democrats are so stupid for like not using this. Like if you're a Democrat worth their salt, why aren't you weaponizing this daily? Like I would only talk about George Santos. Yeah. Like, do you Republicans want to fucking act like you're pure? Meanwhile, you got this shit going on. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Today,
do you think Republicans would ever allow something like this to happen in the Democratic Party without them using it? Tucker Carlson would only talk about.
And also, they would get the Dems to
yeah. Oh, they would.
The Dems would have made him resign the next day.
Yeah.
They would have forced him out.
Yeah.
Tucker.
I mean, the perfect example of this is Al Franken. At the time when Roy Moore was being credibly accused of being a pedophile in fucking Alabama, the police made him stop going to the mall because he was constantly,
trying to pick up
young girls at the mall in his like local mall. Republicans turned around and had Fox News radio host that used to do tours with Al Franken come out and be like, "Oh, Al Franken, took this like weird photo with me many years ago," and then Democrats in unison collectively were like, "All right, you're done, you're out," and Al Franken resigned.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know.
And like, yeah, sure, Al Franken did some weird shit. Okay, I'm not exactly fond of the person in particular or his politics. But ultimately, I'm using this as an example to show you like what it takes for Democrats to like immediately fire off for someone from their ranks and how quickly they get duped into this cycle versus the Republicans will always stand by. They stood by Roy Moore. They literally weaponized the Al Franken shit.
Roy Moore was literally banned from a mall, you guys.
In Alabama, dude. Like Alabama, it's like incest and pedophilia is like a part of the culture. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Oh, here's a recut actually of
yeah, I didn't remember this scene.
Interestingly,
there it is.
right in.
That's
it really does.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Now, Rich Ossoff, the Navy veteran who is making the claims against Santos, and Michael Bell, the founder of the New Jersey Veterans Network, who tried to intervene and get the money from Santos. So, look, I'm so glad to speak to both of you. And Rich, you served in the U.S. Navri. I know your service dog Sapphire was your savior and so important in your life.
He's from New Jersey.
Oh, your soundbite. You're way too advanced.
You're on another plane,
This is why the American military is losing wars, bro. These two fucking thumb-looking dudes couldn't get $3,000 out of George Santos. The fuck?
They should have just taken him down.
The New Jersey veteran guy. Like, what are you doing?
I think they didn't know where he was. I think he talks about it in this, but I'm pretty sure they couldn't find him. Like he straight up was like giving him a false
just like we couldn't find Osama.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, exactly. Something to say about that.
George Santos is in a suburb in Pakistan right now.
Yeah, next to the fucking Pakistan Annapolis.
Here, you wanted to bring her.
I had to bring her. Yeah, it's my baby right there. That's all I have left of her.
And
that's fucking
when George Santos, who at the time, I guess you knew him as Anthony DeVolder, when he was going to help you to save her, she was suffering from cancer at the time. What did he promise that he was going to do for Sapphire?
He was going to use his charity, his 501k, Friends of Pets United, to raise funds over GoFundMe.
Cute-ass dog.
He said he was very
so sad,
very respected. He was very he had his feelers out, and with his charity, it would help me very much to get the money in a sooner amount of time than later.
You were homeless at the time.
I was homeless at the time. I had broken an ankle really bad, couldn't work for a year and a half, so I couldn't pay my rent, and I was evicted. I was living in a tent on the side of Route 9.
That's the American dream right there, my friends.
Yeah, you go to war, you get fucked up, you come back, you're you're additionally traumatized by being fucking homeless. It's great, good stuff. American dream, baby. Who then becomes a
Jersey with my dog.
House of Representatives.
Awesome.
and she had already had that growth growing. It was getting bigger and bigger by the minute, it seemed. I finally decided to take her to the vet to see what they could do to have it removed, and they gave me a $3,000 quote. I was homeless. I didn't have any means to pay for that at all. So one of the vet techs in the place said, "Hey, I know this guy. He runs a charity, and he saves a lot of animals." And she was like, "You want me to hook you up with him?" So she took pictures of me and Sapphire. She sent them to Anthony DeVolder, and the GoFundMe started. It was up and running. I put it on my Facebook page. My friends and family donated to it. They shared it. I had a lot of my Navy buddies that
What
I
I
hadn't
don't
heard from
understand
in
is like,
years.
what kind of fucking charities were you his friends and family raised the money? How's that charity?
Yeah, he set up the GoFundMe because
It's all him.
he set up the GoFundMe. You don't understand, Ethan.
Did everything.
A GoFundMe, setting up a GoFundMe is very difficult.
Okay, is that how he got it?
Very difficult.
Okay.
And then there's the cost of running the business. It actually, much to everyone's surprise, it is exactly the amount of value that they raised. The amount of dollars that George Santos raised, he had to dump back into the operational cost.
Right.
Ironic because like that's kind of how a lot of 501c3s operate, for the record. For those of you in the chat that don't understand, like a lot of these 501c3s are fucking major scams. So George isn't technically doing anything all that different, but it's still fucked up because there are real victims of charity fraud like this. This guy's one of them.
I mean, his friends and family raised all the money. It's insane.
There's actually gave me hundreds towards it. There were some other donors that I didn't ever recognize their names or anything. They might have been through his organization. They might have been friends of friends for all I know. So we raised $3,000 in 2 months, maybe 3 months. It was 6 years ago. And as soon as the money came through, I was like, great.
You could save your dog.
We can get it right in and get this done. Mr. DeVolder Santos decided that he did not want me to use my local vet. He wanted me to use his vets in Long Island or Queens. I don't remember which borough or town it was in. And that was the only way he was going to let it happen. So we took the dog to the vet. And the vet said, "Well, we believe this is too vascular. It's inoperable. But we'd like to go and have her have an ultrasound so we can see if we can do anything with it." I don't drive. I was homeless.
Anthony DeVolder is his
and
real
I paid
name.
a ride. I paid a friend to
George
bring me
Santos
up there.
is his real name.
Well, his name isn't fake.
No, Anthony DeVolder is the name that like everyone knew him as before.
that was his fake name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he
got it.
says
That was
his name is like George Anthony DeVolder Santos.
Yeah, DeVolder was his mother's maiden name. So
Yeah.
he used that sometime.
That was his con name.
I guess.
Nice.
To his vet. I paid the tolls, the gas, lunches, and DeVolder was supposed to pay me back for that. I even was dumb enough to give him my bank account and my routing number because he said he was going to put the money right into my account. Never happened. That was when I started smelling something fishy.
And so at this point, Michael, you get involved to try to help him get the money.
Absolutely.
And so what you had conversations with Santos, again, at this time you knew him as Anthony DeVolder.
Yes, I knew him as
Okay,
Anthony.
what were those like?
My goal was just to speak to a charity, to another charity. The last thing crossed my mind was that it was going to be a problem. It's the first time.
Right, so you weren't like, this is
No,
fraud at
I
the time.
actually
You're
called
thinking, I'm
Rich
just
up.
going to solve this and get him his money.
I called up Rich and said to him, listen, this shouldn't be a problem. It's probably a misunderstanding at best. Relax. Let me
Nobody's
just speak
this
to him and
evil.
we'll work it
It's
out.
gotta be a
And
misunderstanding.
when I called him, my intentions were just to settle this really quickly and move on. But the problem is that when I spoke to him on the phone, he was not listening to what I was saying. He already made up his mind. I said to him, can you please give the money back to the people? Or there's a veterinarian in Rich's area that we can give the money to and put it into like a fund where he could use it from time to time. It's not your money to keep. And he just wasn't hearing it. I called Rich back horrified. I was really upset because this is Rich's lifeline. I work with veterans every day and dogs save people's lives, and he needed this dog every day to be in his life. And I felt horrible to tell him that I failed him because of feeling that Mr. Holder at the time was going to do the right thing, and he did not.
And you never got $1 of the money?
Never got anything.
And
He
obviously
like
she died.
stole from a
She
homeless
died about
veteran's
4 months
family
after
and
this all went.
friends.
Dude,
So insane.
that is the best.
Under the pretense of like saving his dog.
That's like the greatest crime.
He's
ever.
just such a he impersonated Kevin McCarthy's chief of staff to raise campaign funds from wealthy donors. Wealthy donors received calls and emails from a man who said he was Dan Meyer, McCarthy's chief of staff, during the 2020 and 2022 election cycles. According to people familiar with the matter, his name was actually Sam Mealy, and he worked for Santos, raising money for his campaign. So, like, even people he had in his ranks, either under the direction of George Santos or on their own volition, were also doing cons, which I respect. He lied about being a real estate manager. One through line through all of his scams and cons is that, like, whenever George Santos says something, it's usually the exact opposite. He claimed that he had a real estate portfolio with 13 properties, when in fact he had actually been evicted 4 times. So, like,
Which
that's
is sad.
That's insane.
That sucks. But also,
Yeah. He lied about being married to a man and lied by omission about being married to a woman. His campaign bio discussed his husband, with whom he lives in Long Island, along with 4 dogs, but Santos never appeared on the campaign trail with his partner. The Daily Beast could not find a marriage record in New York. And in 2019, however, Santos did actually divorce a person. That person was a woman in Queens. He said, "I'm very much gay," which I do believe. I do believe he's gay.
I'm gay.
He lied about having employees who died in the Pulse nightclub shooting, which was fucking insane.
That's crazy.
Like, he said he lost 4 employees in the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016.
Wow.
That was not real. He lied about his grandparents being Holocaust victims. We already talked about that. And speaking of gay, now this wasn't usually an issue. This was not an issue. Like, drag queens were not a prominent culture war talking point until like the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. You had drag queens who were like pro-Trump. If you remember, there was a pro-Trump drag queen in the 2016 campaign. Like, cross-dressing and drag is a prominent fixture in theater and in movies and in art throughout history, right? And certainly American movie as well. Eddie Murphy's entire career, Tyler Perry. You have Mrs. Doubtfire, things like that we all grew up with. And yet now Republicans have decided to make this a culture war issue. And turns out, we found out that George Santos, who actually received donations and got like a major backer by a prominent New York Republican who is anti-drag, who is anti-trans, and you know, very much like leading the effort in the anti-drag stuff. George Santos himself was a drag queen.
This man says drag queens are groomers. You guys have heard that. Check this out. Check this shit out. Look at how fucking happy he is right now. That's our boy.
There he
is, living
not
his
our
best
boy.
life.
That is our queen.
That's our queen.
Kitara Ravash.
Slay. That's
And he is. I mean, she's slaying. She's absolutely slaying. She's living her best fucking life. That's right. Eula Rochard.
So happy. She is so happy.
Eula Rochard,
so
Slay
queen.
A Brazilian drag queen who was friends with George Santos when he lived near Rio, said she and everyone else knew him as Anthony, never George, or by his drag name, Kitara Ravash, I believe.
Yes, Kitara.
And confirms that there was a photo. She released a photo from him in drag in 2008 at a drag show in Ikarai Beach.
Oh, this is awesome, man.
Now,
There he is in the red.
He vehemently denies that that's him.
That's not true. He used to. He used to deny it. You are missing key parts of the information here. So George Santos immediately comes out and says, that's not real, that's not true, whatever. And then like more and more information come out because he's been on camera. And he ultimately gets caught. I think he was like walking in an airport or something, and people are asking him about the drag stuff. And it says, yes, I was young and having fun. I am by no means a drag queen.
Oh.
So I guess there's
queen. He owned it. But that's still crazy because he says he's young and having fun. I think that's what I thought they were doing too. But it turns out, I mean, from his own words here, which I can't hear. Is that something back there?
Don't say.
There you go.
This is
hey
a
everyone,
Facebook
George Santos
post
here, congressional candidate in New York's 3rd congressional district.
Oh yeah, this isn't related.
Let's
Well,
talk
this
real
is
quick.
This is him supporting the "Don't Say Gay" bill. I was just giving this as an example that he's
and he claims that the left is hell bent on creating a false narrative because they want to groom our kids. That's what he said. He said that, like, and obviously that ties along with like being queer. Even though queer Republicans are like the LGB coalition or whatever the fuck, routinely forget that like Republicans despise gay people too and think they're also freaks that want to groom the children.
Here, I want to watch this video of him.
About the Florida bill, "Don't Say Gay." Although the bill doesn't mention those words, that's what the left-leaning Democrats and progressives are labeling it. I'll leave you with this. As a gay man, I stand proudly behind not teaching our children sex or sexual orientation. That's incumbent on the parents, not educators. DeSantis, you have my full-blown support, and I support your decision to protect our children's innocence. I stand proudly behind the Florida legislature for putting a decent bill that will protect values.
Thank you. Finally, a sane gay person we can all support here in Florida.
Yeah.
He's straight. There's no way he's gay. He's lied about everything.
Dude, he is so gay.
Yeah, God, you're
First
right.
of all, I mean, this is like deep cut gay Twitter shit, but like he's mischievous and devious in a very gay way. Okay.
We are gay, we
and
are
I don't
straight.
mean that in like the homophobic straight guy saying like gays are devious. I mean like he did drag. Like he's super gay. He's
We
super
are gay, we are straight.
The only non-gay fact about him is that sweater vest. Okay? That is the only thing that like just sets off my gaydar in the opposite direction.
My favorite is when people keep asking Kevin McCarthy about it. He keeps going, listen, he was duly elected. I was like, fucking duly elected? What the fuck are you talking about? He literally lies about everything.
Yeah.
They elected a fictional character.
Like look, Kevin McCarthy, not gay, okay? Like you think this guy and like look at the sassiness, the charisma of Kevin McCarthy, who just looks like a wet noodle, and then George Santos, who was able to con thousands of people, okay?
You think that's a gay swag?
Yes, he has gay swag, 100%.
Okay, all right. Just
also,
trying
he
to
watches a
understand your
fuckload of Drag
argument.
Race because he had a back and forth with Trixie Mattel on Twitter. And in that back and forth, he literally admits that he watches the show because here, pull that up. It's on the doc.
I mean,
yeah, it's number 5 here.
He says, I have now been enshrined in late night TV history with all these impersonations, but they are all terrible so far. John Love is supposed to be one of the greatest comedians of all time, and that was embarrassing for him, not me. These comedians need to step their game up. Trixie Mattel responds, maybe the source material was weak. 29,000 likes, by the way. George Santos responds with a GIF of Trixie saying, clearly you know all about weak acting skills.
It's a GIF.
With a GIF, yeah. And then Trixie responds, I am not an actor. I was young and I had fun at a festival. That is in reference to what George Santos had said about doing drag. George Santos replies, it's all good. I won my race against the fan favorite too. He knows. She knows.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
I mean, you can understand
That's
from context.
deep
He was like,
lore,
I didn't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, but like clearly that's something
does.
that I assume happened in this in that season.
Olivia, can you confirm? I know you're a massive fan.
Is that deep?
Yes, George Santos knew that Trixie really fucked up Snatch Game when she did her impression of RuPaul.
Slay
Because she
queen
normally
shit.
slays it on her other show.
Wow.
So she got really clowned on for that.
There you go.
Here's Kevin McCarthy who just loves he loves Georgie Boy.
Claims
over here.
to not like drag, is getting dragged all around the timeline. Snap.
Facing fraud charges from Brazil to have access to top secret information.
I don't see any way that he's going to have top secret. If you're referring to George Santos, he's got a long way to go to earn trust. But the one thing I do know is you apply
How the fuck
the
you gonna talk
Constitution.
about trust?
Yeah, how about you I mean,
about
listen,
that dead dog?
He trusts Marjorie Taylor Greene as well, and we all know why he's trusting Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay? I'm saying it. I'm fucking saying it. Kevin McCarthy, I believe, is having sexual intercourse with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Slay fucking horn dog.
I believe it. You heard it here.
Her T levels are through the roof because she's doing, kipping.
Wait, what?
Kipping CrossFit. What the fuck was that?
The voters of his district have elected him. He is seated. He is part of the Republican conference.
You basically, if you might as well just like, if I get elected, I might as well just send someone else and be like, well, he was elected. I mean, literally, they did not vote for him. They voted for some fictional character that he made in a laboratory.
I mean, the seat that Kevin McCarthy is currently occupying at this moment used to be held by the longest-running pedophile, who also happened to be the longest-running Speaker of the House. So, Dennis Hastert,
really? It's the same seat?
Well, no, not the same seat. Sorry, it's not his. It's
not the same district.
seat, but the same position that he has.
Right. Okay.
As the Speaker of the House was occupied as a record holder by Dennis Hastert for most pedophilia, allegedly. Well, not allegedly. He went to prison for that, but I don't know if he's a record holder for most pedophilia. But also record holder for longest running Speaker of the House.
Well, here
so we know Republicans don't give a shit. Doesn't matter.
There are concerns or whatever, so he will go before ethics. If anything is found to be wrong, he will be held accountable exactly as anybody else in this body would be. That is the fair way to handle anything you go, and that's how I'll deal with any single issue.
Are they really
that
putting
ever
him through
comes
ethics committees?
I mean, he says that. I don't know.
They're like, he's good.
You'd think if like there were questions, they would hold off on like giving him important like assignments, but like we said, he's already been given positions on the Small Business Committee. The guy who's currently being investigated for running a Ponzi scheme is on the Small Business Committee.
Yeah, I see he's on the Committee for Business Transparency and Truth in Advertising.
Excuse me, Ponzi schemes are at the heart of American small business.
I suppose
okay?
so.
I'm sorry.
I see here he's on the Committee for the Truth and Justice Committee.
Yeah, put him on the Ethics Committee, dude.
Yeah, the ethics,
Put him on the Animal Welfare Committee.
Business Ethics. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, there it is. I know you got to go.
Ugh.
We did it. We've been here. We've done it. George, I think he could be president. Fuck it.
It's a shame about the dog thing because otherwise it's all really funny to me.
Yeah.
That's the one that it's like, oh, wow.
The thing is, if you put a face to all the people he probably stole money from, it's
That
really
too, I
sad too.
suppose.
But it's easy because we don't know who they are. There's always some woman who's like, I spent my whole life savings giving George.
Yeah.
Now I can't afford my insulin.
The other element here, first of all, he could absolutely become governor in Florida. I mean, literally fucking, what's his face? Rick, God, the one that looks like Voldemort. I always forget his name. Rick Scott was, charged with the largest Medicare fraud in American history. And then Florida was like, that's going to be our governor.
Wait, he was doing Medicare fraud? Like
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, his company that he ran was.
How much did they steal?
I think, was it 12 million? Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
People have done bigger ones than that, no?
No. This is one of the largest, yeah.
Pack for historic 1.7 billion Medicare.
I was wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
1.7
Way more.
billion.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
1.7
talking
billion
about.
Medicare
That's
fraud.
what the fuck I'm talking about. My
Yeah.
man. He's like, yo, we need
Why
to
doesn't
lower
it,
taxes
why doesn't it
and cut
immediately
benefits.
come up? Like when I go to his Wikipedia, it doesn't show his it's not like a fat like accusations criminal.
Right.
Yeah, I see that.
He's got a good PR firm.
You got a awards and honors tab.
Controversial investments. Does that count?
Yeah.
That's a very sanitized way.
Oh, and by the way, he stole $2.3 billion from the federal government. Anyway, back to how great of a guy he is.
Yep.
He's like, listen, I'm not in favor of social medicine, so I'm just scooping it up. Make sure it doesn't go to the poor people.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and of
protecting
course
them.
now his entire purpose in the Republican Party is to like cut more entitlements, cut more benefits, cut Social Security.
I tell you
that's
what,
what he's
man.
running on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking idiots, dude. I despise how stupid Republicans are sometimes. Like, you think that guy has got your best interests at heart? He's just like literally grafting you. He's just skull fucking you every day. And openly showing his disdain for the working poor, and you're like, no, that's my guy. He doesn't have any fucking qualities. If you ever listen to him, if you ever watch him, he's not like he's a particularly charismatic person either. He looks like fucking Voldemort.
You know what's interesting? Here you see he's smiling. The eyes, they are not smiling.
Right.
That is death.
Yeah,
It's always
because
in
you know
the
why?
eyes, you're
Because
right.
the only time he's ever smiled is when he's stealing when he's robbing the poor. Okay, And
Smile.
he hasn't robbed the poor in a while. That's why
Terror.
his eyes have the death stare.
They're almost like they look like he's in terror. Smile, terror. This guy's seen the darkness. He's gazed into the.
He's peered into the void, and it peered back.
Yeah. Let's see if we can catch what's in the reflection of his eye. What the fuck? Is that a body?
No.
That's Satan? Is that a pitchfork
No,
and
it couldn't.
flames of hell?
Couldn't be.
Is that the screams of oblivion of all lost souls that have perished?
I just,
The
there's no
screams.
just karmic justice that these demons keep surviving.